Hey Cancer, welcome to your April 2021 a mid-month check-in. We're just going to see what the general energies are for the second half of April. You may get a little, you may get a lot, but check out your sun, moon, rising, Venus, and midheaven. My phone is actually recording this, and I ran out of storage, so I have to start this video over again. I was in the middle of discussing the first three cards we had out, so I already have them pulled. I just went ahead and was like, I'm just going to re-record. And so here we are. So anyways, Cancer, I think I might have called you Gemini, and I'm so sorry. It's like I do a lot of these. So anywho, we have the Empress card reverse, the Three of Cups, and the Fool card here. So, all right, Cancer. So what I pick up from this is that with this Empress card in reverse, I really do feel like this is your energy here. You may be holding on too tightly on something, maybe having a lot of tension in terms of a situation, creating a lot of tension. Maybe there is a lot of fear. You're having to think logistically as opposed to allowing yourself to be more creative or find a creative solution when it comes to some type of situation. And what you're doing is that you're actually, with this Three of Cups, it's like you're allowing yourself to kind of share your energy with other people. It's like an energy exchange. Because Three of Cups can have a lot to do about bringing our emotions to a community, to a group, whether it be a group of friends, a group of coworkers, what have you. And so there's something that's kind of got you a bit concerned here, or that you're really trying to look at things from a logical perspective when that energy itself is not the right type of energy being called for here, I think, just based off of what I'm picking up here. And this Fool in the reverse represents to me someone who is too attached to a specific role or viewpoint in terms of the world. It's someone who lacks a certain amount of joie de vivre, curiosity and joy. It's like someone who just perpetually sees the world just kind of as it is. And in the last video, what I did was I opened up because the word imagination came to mind before I pulled the cards. And what I talk about with quite a few of my coaching clients is that, you know, a lot of people say, when you're an adult, we kind of lose grasp of our imagination or our imaginative skills. And it's like, no, not really. What we do is we end up lacking imagination, in that our imagination turns into worry and stress and anxiety about the future. So we're spending all of this imaginative energy basically creating the worst case scenario, when instead we could actually imagine what we do want and have our imagination work for us. And that's why a lot of the time, like affirmations and doing certain manifestation work doesn't always pan out, because we've allowed our imagination to be rooted in the beliefs of what we've already experienced, right? And that's what I'm really feeling with this Fool card. So this could be one of the people that you're sharing your energy with, and they may be feeding into some of your stories, or may be telling you, yeah, but what about this, this, and this? Kind of figuring out everything that could be wrong about a situation, and kind of destroying your faith that you can kind of make it through. And so it may not be really helpful, but in some way, there's kind of this energy of being able to commiserate. And I don't think that that's what you need at this time. I almost called you Empress. I don't think that's what you need at this time, Cancer, right? Because at the bottom of the deck, we have this Knight of Swords. And so what that's indicating to me is that, yeah, what they have to say may be offering you some, good points to think about and to consider, because you may be having a knee-jerk reaction, and they may offer you a chance as being a sounding board, but in the sense that they're helping you kind of figure out all the potential pitfalls, right? But they're not necessarily assisting you in figuring out, okay, what is the creative solution? Let's kind of look beyond, or look at the big picture. Perhaps you're kind of stuck in the minutia of things and creating a lot of tension and immobility to move through a certain situation. All right, Cancer. So let's see. I'm going to pull a few oracle cards to see if we can't get a little bit deeper into this situation here. Yeah, it's like I feel like you're doing your best to try to be a good leader, a good kind of what's the word? Um, a good benefactor, kind of to your own strengths and whatever it is that you're attempting to accomplish here. But I feel like at the end of the day, it's like whoever you're engaging with just may have a lack of confidence. Just due to them being caught in some type of perpetual uh, down like motion, right? It's perpetual pattern or experience. And that's not really something that you're looking to get back into. Okay, we had a few cards fall out, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick those up. I'm not gonna take this one. Actually, I will take it. You know what? I changed my mind. All right, so the two cards we that fell out first, and they fell out face up, is we have practicality and revenge. These two cards, these are astrology oracle cards, by the way. But yeah, they both came up in the reverse, so I'm going to let them sit like that. So practicality is moon in Capricorn. And so it's like your practicality may be getting in the way, or maybe you feel like you're responsible for things that aren't necessarily your fault, or things that you don't really need to claim. I feel like this could be with some type of group effort, something that you're trying to cultivate with others that head may be a little bit in the clouds, and so you're trying to ground things perhaps in order to build a solid foundation here. But at the same time, at what cost are you kind of cutting off any potential for something to grow out of I feel like you're kind of on the edge of some like breaking some fertile ground, but at the same time with this three of cups here and this revenge card in the reverse, it could feel like maybe I'm just getting the words like foot in one's mouth, right? And it's like maybe you're kind of suffocating something or limiting something before it even needs to get to that point. Um, and it's like I feel like maybe you in some way are trying to maybe some memory of some other thing that has occurred. And I feel like I've talked about this before, is having you be a little unclear and just wanting to cut things a little bit short. And so this is it's probably due to some type of unresolved tension or something that actually needs to be looked at from another viewpoint, from another perspective. I also feel like here maybe feeling validated or vindicated in some way is not necessarily the move here, and is very impractical. Perhaps you're a little bit off focus here, not focused on your goals, right? It's like it may seem, and like again with that Knight of Swords, it's like you could be acting a little bit impulsive, and it's time to slow down and not rush to the scene to try to shut things down or control a situation or allow yourself to be some type of authority in some way. Because then we have this endurance card with the Fool. And you know what I said before is like that could just be how you see this person. Honestly, I'm just reading what I see here, but I'm not necessarily in the situation, right? So you could see this person as a huge naysayer. But again, I feel like there's something worth acknowledging here in terms of whatever is being brought up. It's like put it into consideration. Maybe they're playing devil's advocate it also in some way, shape, or form. But with this endurance card, it's like maybe there is some power there left in this person. Maybe this person is in somewhat confident in what they believe, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to adopt everything they're telling you or everything that they believe. I feel like there's something about they lack a certain amount of courage in some way. And so I feel like there's a need to find some type of middle ground here. Perhaps it's necessary to find someone who can really step in and be brave. Be brave, maybe consult, maybe offer a third perspective in some way, I feel here. It's like there's a need for someone to kind of come in, and I feel like it could potentially be someone who has a more masculine doer type of energy to help guide something along. Because then we have this control card in the reverse, which is to me is like, yeah, release the need to control. And it could be something that you're wanting to birth out into the world, but at the same time, it's like I feel like there's part of you that doesn't feel like being attached to that, the being attached to it as it is, or there's something that you want, there's something that you feel like needs to change, and it could just be kind of a gut reaction. It could just be something that's happening, due to differences of opinion, right? Let's see. Let's see what else is going on here for you, Gemini. Yeah, we have the Eight of Wands reversed, the Wheel of Fortune. It seems like you've lost hope in something. Maybe you've taken some time out to really separate yourself, and now you're like, yeah, is this working for me? I don't know. Yeah, it's like almost kind of going into this place of fear, not really seeing any good potential outcome in some way. And we have the Six of Pentacles here, which is, to me, is like the universe wanting, it's like maybe you're not giving all that you could get out of it. Giving all of your resources and time, maybe even it's just not a reciprocal thing, right? And here with this Four of Pentacles, I feel like maybe this Fool, whoever represents that, because this Four of Pentacles is coming up, maybe they're being a bit stingy, maybe they're holding back a little bit. Either way, I sense some type of tension here in terms of what people want, who's giving what, but yet still maintaining that relationship or that energy for some reason. And again, I feel like there needs to be a third party that comes in order to help create some type of structure or form, or help mediate in some form or fashion, whatever the situation is that's going on. And I feel like this person could be a Libra. They could also have a Taurus placement. It can also represent you maybe coming to some type of agreement or mediation toward the end of Taurus season, which would be mid-May. And so I feel like it's good for you to just try to seek out new creative avenues, for you yourself to embody the Fool upright, to turn that Fool around, to get a little bit curious of like, okay, where are they coming from? Maybe they don't know enough about where you're coming from. Instead, we're just seeing kind of the tip of the iceberg here. And it's like neither side is necessarily getting the whole story. So I feel like as much as you want to be validated in some way, I don't think that you're offering the right type of information or a good enough argument in order for things to get to a point of reconciliation. So I feel like it's very important for you, to step back into your like the full-on Empress energy, which is Venus and Taurus, which we have that coming up soon because I just did a write-up about it recently. And so it's very important for you to figure out ways to be more persuasive as opposed to being more domineering, because that could be another thing that's kind of coming up and that's keeping this Fool from adopting a more positive or curious or open-minded mindset, right? To see the opportunity in whatever it is that you are trying to present. So just pay attention to that. I feel like, there is a lot of determination here. But at the same time, I feel like in terms of whatever interpersonal conflict is going on, I feel like it's maybe you've seen some of the signs of this early on, and now it's just to a point where you really can't look away from it, right? It could be kind of consuming your thought because it's kind of like stepping in to a pot before the water begins to boil, as opposed to like putting a lobster in a pot while it's boiling versus putting a lobster into a pot as the water rises in temperature. So anyways, on that note, talking about lobsters, I'm going to let you go, Cancer. Thank you so much for stepping in, for watching this video. Maybe it's you that's stepping in to help reconcile a situation. But either way, what I really do feel here, I'm also getting the idea of like Maine for some reason, because I guess because I was talking about lobsters, whatever. But also like with all of this red, I feel like if you're angry or upset or anything, it's just because you want something to change. It's just because you're really passionate about something. And it's like figuring out what people are angry about, you can tell what they care about. And so I find that it's important to really have that perspective when someone gets upset. It may not always be exactly what they're talking about, but either way, like try to kind of put together the pieces, get a little bit creative. Not everything is always met from a place of intellectual, logical, reasonable sense. Sometimes we got to be a little bit out of the box, be a little bit strange ourselves because we're strange beings sometimes, us humans. So allow room for something different to come in, allow room for new perspectives. After all, that's what leads to enlightenment. We cast light upon places that were once in shadow and cast new shadows in the process. So be a little bit more adaptable, play with different perspectives, see what goes on. And I feel like, at the end, I feel like no one's going to truly have to sacrifice anything. So be aware of that. And just, move through deliberately. Again, I say like mid-May is when you're going to start to really see a shift, I think. So be mindful of that. Just, be patient. Again, don't create tension where there doesn't need to be any, but just recognize it when it shows up. Okay. And with that, I will leave you to it. So please like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Check out the description box for a bunch of links and other things, other information below. And I'll talk to you next